This is the final reading in our series entitled Journey to Jerusalem. And my reading on this Easter Sunday morning is from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 28. And I'm reading verses 1 to 10 in the New Living Translation. Early on Sunday morning, as the new day was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went out to visit the tomb. Suddenly there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven, rolled aside the stone, and sat on it. His face shone like lightning, and his clothing was as white as snow. The guards shook with fear when they saw him, and they fell into a dead faint. Then the angel spoke to the women. "Don't be afraid," he said. "I know you're looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He isn't here. He is risen from the dead, just as he said would happen. Come, see where his body was lying. And now go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead, and he is going ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there. Remember what I have told you." The women ran quickly from the tomb. They were very frightened, but also filled with great joy, and they rushed to give the disciples the angel's message. And as they went, Jesus met them and greeted them, and they ran to him, grasped his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Don't be afraid. Go, tell my brothers to leave for Galilee, and they will see me there." Over the last few weeks, we have followed the events that led Jesus to Jerusalem and to his sacrificial death by crucifixion. His battered, lifeless body was taken down from the cross. It was laid in a tomb, sealed with a stone, guarded by soldiers. It seemed to everyone that that was the end of him. The disciples were scared and confused. The women were heartbroken, filled with grief. The religious leaders were happy to have got rid of him. Hell rejoiced, demons celebrated, and Satan breathed a great sigh of relief, believing that he had won. But, in the words of the old preacher, that was Friday, but Sunday was coming. We rightly cherish, above all else, the cross of Jesus. We delight to read and pray and sing and preach of its cosmos-shaking significance. We even call the day Good Friday. But without Easter Sunday, Good Friday is just another Friday. In fact, it becomes the ultimate Black Friday. And the good news, the gospel, becomes no news, fake news. It is the resurrection of Jesus from the dead that secured our salvation. The Bible itself declares, if Christ is not risen from the dead, you are still in your sins. Atheists throughout the centuries understood that our faith stood or fell on this point. That is why so many have tried to disprove this glorious truth. A man called Lee Strobel, an award-winning investigative journalist with the Chicago Herald, was dismayed to learn that his wife had become one of these Christians. And so he set out with all his training and all his expertise to deliver her from this awful error by investigating the resurrection and disproving its claims. All his best efforts led him to the conclusion that multitudes of people across the world will celebrate this day. Jesus is risen from the dead, just as he said would happen. Jesus is alive. Death is defeated, and because he lives, we can live also. Because all who believe him and accept him, he gives the right to become children of God. Now that really is good news. Have a great, glorious Easter Sunday celebrating the risen King.